Welcome to the fourth episode of Betting on the Iron Throne, where we'll be looking ahead to episode 4 of the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones. I'm Drew Goldfarb, joined by Taylor Smith, and we're going over all of the prop bets that are likely to be relevant to this week's Game of Thrones episode. But first, we want to look back at some wagers that paid off in episode 3, and that does mean spoilers. Obviously, if we're talking about betting odds on an upcoming episode and addressing those that have already paid off, we will be getting into spoiler territory. So with that out of the way, Taylor, let's start with the bets that paid off in last week's episode, the Battle of Winterfell. I know there were a few items that looked promising, so what bets paid off on Sunday?
So the big one was the first character to die. There was a lot of hype this week. Obviously, with the Battle of Winterfell, we expected a lot of bloodshed. But the first major character to die was actually Dolorous Edd, who didn't even have betting odds last week. So that's kind of a bummer if you randomly had Dolorous Edd in your office death pool. Congratulations. Jorah Mormont was a heavy favorite to die first at plus 110. He did die, but it wasn't first. Lyanna Mormont and Theon Greyjoy were also among those to perish. So that bet was kind of a bummer. If you bet Jaime Lannister to survive at minus 200, he did. So you won that bet if you bet that side of it. The Night King was listed at plus 120 to kill Bran Stark. The no side of that was minus 160. The Night King got killed. Bran Stark did not. So minus 160 was the winning bet on that side.
So who won the Battle of Winterfell, and what does that mean for prop bets as we move forward in the series?
So the dead were heavy minus 240 favorites to win the Battle of Winterfell, but if you'd read my blog on this last week, you would have seen that I picked the living to win it as plus 160 underdogs. Arya killed the Night King. The living won the Battle of Winterfell, so the underdogs won. If you bet that side of it, congratulations.
Congratulations indeed. Continuing to look ahead, when will Cersei Lannister die, and what do the odds suggest there?
So she's at plus 500 to die in this week's episode, episode 4. Episodes 5 or 6, it's down at minus 600, and she is plus 400 to not die at all. I'm kind of leaning toward the not die at all side of that at plus 400. I think there's a possibility she winds up actually winning the Iron Throne at the end of this, but minus 600, you're not really going to be betting that, episodes 5 or 6. I don't think she dies in episode 4. So if you want value, I would just bet on her surviving the series at plus 400.
Last one for you for this week. I think we'll be asking this one until the series ends. Who will rule Westeros at the end? What is the smart money play at this point?
So Jon Snow has been pretty much the heavy favorite throughout the whole series. He's still at plus 135, which is pretty good value. I don't hate that at all. But again, like I said in the last section, Cersei plus 2,500 to win and rule Westeros at the end. I think that's probably your best value option. She's been a step ahead of everyone the entire series pretty much. So Jon Snow at plus 135 is the safer bet. Cersei at plus 2,500 is where I'd go shooting for upside.
All right, Taylor Smith, thank you very much. Be sure to check out Taylor's articles on Game of Thrones online now at gamblingsites.org for even more on this season's betting odds. I'm Drew Goldfarb. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.